Volume. I can tell you no 3-year-old company has ever done this because there are 10 and 15-year-old companies who haven't done this. We zoom out and look across states. We have the number 1 and number 2 mega team in California, number 1 and 3 in Iowa, 2, 3, 4, 5 in Nevada. We're showing these investment bankers that we are attracting the absolute best of the best across the industry. We then get into this idea of the mega team. Teams are getting bigger. There's a lot of talk and headlines in the news about teams' ability to help agents scale and grow in a tough market, and we're seeing that as well. And so we take Real Trends data and we look at the legacy franchise brands. So if you're at RE/MAX, you only have a 2% chance of growing your team to mega. 92% of RE/MAX teams are medium or small. Coldwell Banker, very similar. 2% make it to mega. And mega is 20 or more agents, by the way Real Trends defines it. Berkshire Hathaway, 2%. Keller Williams, the inventor of the team, only has 4% of their teams that make it to mega. And then you zoom out to LPT, and 44% of our teams have 20 or more agents. In the state of Florida, the only state we've been in for the full 3 years we've been open, we have more mega teams than any brand. 22 LPT teams, only 17 at eXp, 11 at Compass, 8 at Keller Williams. We are winning at the highest level. Then we show Wall Street that when teams and agents come to LPT, they grow, they do more business. So again, they try to compare us to other industries, right? Because most of these guys have not been excited about real estate for a long time because our industry has let Wall Street down. And so we talk about this concept of same-store sales, right? That if you're going to invest in Chipotle, well, how much more burritos did the average Chipotle sell this year than last year, right? Are your stores growing? Are you only growing by adding more stores? And so we say, hey, when teams join LPT, they grow. When agents join LPT, they grow. We talked about that. 88% agent growth turned into 178% transaction growth. Here we break it down to the macro level at the teams. Locals team joined us and did 66 units in 2023, did 231 units in 2024, 250% increase. Great job, guys. And I know that number is even bigger this year. The global team, 124 to 375. Paramount Home Group, 280 to 645. I think they're going to do like 1,100 this year. Indy HK out of Texas. Strata Group, 244, 460. Again, growing now. I think they're in the room. I saw Chris and his folks running around. Urban Cool Home, 64% growth. Maxim Group, 53% growth. Military Veteran Team, 50% growth. They've now tripled, right? Military Veteran went from 343 units to 515. I think they're going to do 1,300 or 1,400 this year, all right? Space, the largest team we had at the time, 750 units to 1,123. They're going to break 2,000 units this year. The Korea Group, 32% growth. So remember, we only had 33 teams that are with us for both years, right? If you weren't with us in both 2023 and 2024, we don't have these statistics yet. And so there were only 33 teams, and 10 of them grew by 32% or more at a time when home sales are stagnant at an all-time low. And then we go back to you guys once again.
LPT Realty, they're offering more to the agents.
LPT has enabled me to better serve my clients, just simply having better tools.
Because of all the tools and resources that LPT has, I then can focus on serving my clients and closing my deals.
That Listing Power tool is a gold mine that you have to use.
This little box, I'm offering you something that nobody else is going to offer.
We're going to blow the doors off that joint and make sure that you know that we are selling something.
This is our business, and we need to dream big. I've always done collateral marketing. It was a slam dunk.
The materials that are provided to me has given me the confidence and conviction as though I were in the business for 20 years.
LPT has empowered me to be laser focused on my clients.
LPT has a structure where you're encouraged.
At the end of the day, it was the collective of everything, but also ran by the leadership that LPT offers.
It's so real. It's real family. It's no BS.
They show us that anything is possible and we can do whatever we put our minds to. if you want to actually sell real estate first, then LPT is the right place for you.
Then we talk about our awards: 2024 Most Innovative Brokerage, 2025 Training Magazine Apex Award winner. Really proud of that one. You know, this national training magazine that ranks folks across all industries, because of our Ascend Initiative University and all the amazing training we do, ranked us in the top 100 last year, and we expect to rank even higher this year. We just made that submission. Tech 100, Power Players, Swanepoel, Real Trends Top 10. We're showing that we're building something that is winning and being recognized by the industry. And then we get into this video to talk about our philosophy on agent success and that your brokerage should not define you.
Your brokerage does not define you. Your brokerage should empower you to build the life you envision. It should offer you the tools to navigate the ever-changing market, to grow your business on your terms. Your brokerage should support you, not just with resources, but with a community that celebrates your victories and stands by you through the challenges. It should be a place that understands who you are and what drives you, a place where your unique strengths are valued, where individuality isn't just allowed, it's encouraged. Your brokerage should push the boundaries of innovation, bringing you the latest technology to keep you connected, efficient, and ahead of the curve, because staying at the forefront isn't just an advantage, it's a necessity. It should also be a place that respects your time, understanding that success isn't measured by hours worked, but by the moments you get back, moments to be with family, to recharge, and to enjoy the life you're building. Your brokerage should inspire you to think bigger, to reach higher, to serve with excellence, to be not just an agent, but an advocate, a guide, a trusted partner. It should challenge you to evolve, to learn, to adapt, to embrace the future, because the future is where your potential lies. There are countless ways a brokerage should elevate you, support you, empower you. But at the end of it all, your brokerage does not define you.
And then we let them know that we've reserved our stock ticker, LPTA. I'm actually going up to meet with NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange in a couple of weeks to talk about, depending on which final exchange we select, what they're going to do for us, what kind of publicity they're going to put behind us, what type of events they're going to let us throw in their facilities. Because even though we reserved with NASDAQ, we can still transfer that listing over to NYSE if we decide that's the route that we want to go. But this was a very proud moment, and this is kind of how we close out the investor presentation. We've taken them through all the amazing things we've accomplished. We've taken them through the heartbeat of this brokerage, which is you all. We've taken them through the history of success with listing power tools, and then we show them where we're going with the reservation of our stock ticker through NASDAQ. But in all of that joy and in all of the excitement that I have from sharing that with Wall Street, I want to be real with all of you about one of my biggest failures in how I built this company and the journey that got us here. And so in that investor deck, you saw the video that talks about the transition from listing power tools to LPT Realty. And I'm going to play a little clip of that again right now. Actually, I'm not going to play a clip of that again right now. I got my slides mixed up. So basically, I failed to dream big. When I launched Listing Power Tools as a tech company, it was because I was afraid to do what was necessary and launch a brokerage. And I'm going to talk a lot about why I struggled with that and why I did that, but I really felt like a fraud and I felt like a failure because I was running around telling other people that they should dream big, that they should dream bigger. I have this speech that I gave at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland. So the Lakeland Civic Center was where I graduated high school. You fast forward 18 years, and we do a big sponsorship deal where we rename that building the RP Funding Center. It's still named that today, almost 10 years later. And so I gave a commencement speech to the graduating class for my high school, and I challenged them to dream big at a very time when I was afraid to take the leap to make the big dream that would get us to where we are today. And I'm going to share that video with you and then talk about what was holding me back.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the very special guest speaker from the class of 1998, Mr. Robert Palmer.
Years ago, I sat in these exact same chairs in this exact same building and graduated high school. 19 years ago, I would have never thought my name would be on this building. My initials, my company name would go up here, and that we'd be able to give back to the community and help do things and amazing things in this very building that seemed so big at that time. I never thought any of these things were possible. And I remember people telling me that I could accomplish anything I put my mind to. And I remember not believing them. My grades weren't all that great. My family wasn't rich. I didn't have this track laid out for me to have my life. It took me a while to figure out that I actually could. And so I want to stand here today as proof for you that no matter where you're sitting out there, what your grades are, what your goals are, if you have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, because I did. And if you feel that way, it's okay. Because I want you to know that if you put your mind to something, you can absolutely do it. And I want you to believe me more than I believed all the people that tried to give me that message when I was your age. This class will always be special to me. As the class of 2017, you're the first group to graduate in what's now known as the RP Funding Center. And I hope that 19 years from now, one of you takes my name off this building and puts your name up there instead. So I want you to go out there and take over the world and never let anybody hold you down. Congratulations.
So I actually gave that speech right about the time I realized that I was letting things hold me back, that I wasn't dreaming big enough, that I had built a company with this commitment to helping agents be more successful and to helping them get through the ups and downs of what is a very tough industry, and especially in cycles like this. But my fear kept me from going far enough to have the actual alignment needed to achieve that goal.
About this magic white box.
The magic white box.
The magic white box. I think Robert began to be frustrated because it was as if he had handcuffs on.
All of us were thinking this is a successful product, successful company, successful launch. But it was not successful to Robert.
And so what I realized was, and I think what I knew, is that it wasn't successful enough, is that it wasn't going to serve the purpose that I had set out for. I wasn't ever going to actually be able to impact the lives of the agents on the platform in the way that I wanted to. I wasn't going to be able to help the next me, the next entrepreneur who was going to build a massive business, a massive team, who was going to go from selling 1 or 2 homes a year to selling 10 or 20 and then maybe building a team of 1,000. I wasn't going to be able to help that person succeed as a software vendor, and we were stuck there because I was too afraid to dream big. You know, if you go back, I had this mortgage company and we're doing business with real estate agents, and I have friends who own brokerages, and I knew that if I made the leap that was required, that a lot of that would get burned down. I would lose friendships, I would lose relationships, I would put the mortgage company in jeopardy because we would get blackballed with a lot of our clients and agents through that process. And that fear held me back. I went from standing on stage at that graduation ceremony, which is all happening around this same time. I think I made the decision that we were going to transition to a brokerage shortly after I gave that speech because I felt like a fraud. I was telling them to not let anyone hold them down, and I was watching a company that was from the surface very successful not achieve the goals and the vision and the commitment that I had made. And so I came home and I made really tough choices. I transitioned my mortgage company completely out of the purchase business. Stopped doing purchases. We focused only on refis because that would protect that business from the onslaught of negativity and hate that would come when I ripped the Band-Aid off and became a brokerage. I lost some friendships through the transition because when I told some folks I was going to launch LPT as a brokerage somewhere in the next couple of years, they decided we shouldn't be friends anymore. I made all those tough choices because I wasn't going to stand on stage and tell that group of graduates that they should never let anything hold them down and they should dream big and then not do it myself, because authenticity is more important than anything else. And that's why I'm being honest and transparent with you all here today. I want you to understand this part of the story, because if I had had the courage to launch LPT Realty in 2016 instead of 2022, how much farther along would we all be? How many more agents' lives would be impacted? You would have all had the opportunity to use the LPT tools in the last boom and not have to wait for the next one. And so for that, I want to apologize, because my fear and my failure to dream big held us all back by 6 years. Now, we're going to get to the goal. We're going to build something amazing, but I do regret that decision to not dream big. And so I want you to learn from that. If there is something holding you back, if there is something pulling you in, if there is something that is not allowing you to dream as big as you should dream, if there is a relationship you are afraid of destroying, if there is some other part of your business life, if there is someone you are connected to who is holding you back from your big dream, I want you to be bold enough to put yourself first and dream big, because when I did that, it's the most freeing thing that's ever happened in my life. And a big part of that, as I stand up here for you today, is this event is inspiring for me. I know you're having a great, I know most of you, you've come up to me and said, we're having a great time, Robert, thank you so much. I want you to know it goes both ways. This event is inspiring for me as well, because I get to look back on how far we've come. I get to look back on the first Grand Prix when we tattered together a little conference inside of the Mahaffey Theater. You know, some of you were there. How many people were at Grand Prix? Yeah. So my mortgage company was the title sponsor of the St. Petersburg Grand Prix, and we were just launching LPT Realty. And there's this beautiful theater, the Mahaffey Theater, inside of the track. And so we made the decision to host a conference inside of a hot track of an IndyCar race. Again, we like to push the limits and do crazy things. Looking at where we've gone from there to here helps me understand that my failure to dream big, my regrets about not going 6 years earlier, all that is behind us. We have surpassed and we have built and we have won together. And this conference, this room of people contrasted to where we were 3 years ago, is the proof of that. So even though I was late in dreaming big, we've all now pulled it off together. So one of the fun videos we did back in 2020, I think this was 2024 Grand Prix, March of 2024, about 18 months ago, we were getting a lot of hate from the other cloud brokerages. You know, there was a target on our back. People were spreading misinformation about me. I hadn't done a good enough job of sharing my story. There was a fake graphic going around that said I had been banned by the SEC and I'd never be able to lead a publicly traded company. Just all of this absolute nonsense. And so it felt like we were at a war. It felt like we were in a battle. And so we made this video as a way to kind of hype our agents up. And in the lyrics, there's a couple of jabs back at those competitors. And I'll let you guys listen to this.
Now I know y'all be loving this right here. It's LPT, we're taking over this year. If you selling homes, throw your hands in the air and wave them around like you just don't care. We got RP and he's steering the wheel. We're the fastest growing brokerage in the world, is clear. When it come to getting money, we jumpstart careers and put the best tools and training in your atmosphere. They stay hating on us cause they scared. They stay hating on us cause they scared. They stay hating on us cause they scared. Down to the hybrid shit. Bounce up to get down. Stack up, LPT is in the mix now. We win and they power. They mad, we are. truth now. LPT's numbers kinda running through the roof now. And if you're sleeping on the sideline, guys, it's time to wake up. Cause the industry's about to have a little shake up. We got them shivering, shaking in their shoes and their socks. The only answer they came up with, trying to copy our box. And if they're thinking what we've done up to now is enough, just hang on tight. This rocket ship is just taking off. It's not a me vision, it's more a we vision. And it all started back then with our P's vision. And that's the mission. Our agents becoming the mountain. That's how we grew in 2 years. 10,000 agents and counting. Now you better buckle up, cause it'll be a rough ride. When all said and done, you need marketing talk guide. Are you ready? 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 We're winning 3 guys. Up to get down. Stack up. LPT is in the mix now. We win and they proud. They mad we are now. Pack up. LPT is in the mix now. We closing. Closing. Come on. Closing. Yeah. Closing. Let me get this thing started. Rest in peace to the ones who departed. While the mother rest and model stay the course. We uncharted. They ain't never seen nothing like this before. It's a blessing to be surrounded by this level of talent. Yeah, we the best. We pushing flow to the pedal. It's nothing to downshift on the competition till they swallow and dust. And I like to welcome y'all to the LPT repping 24. Y'all follow my lead as we kick down the damn door. Yeah, we're getting that 3 guys. Up to get down. Stack up. LPT is in the mix now. We win and they proud. They mad we are now. LPT is in the mix now. We closing. Closing. Come on. Closing. Yeah. Closing. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
So this was at a time when a lot of people were attacking LPT. Yeah, let's give it up for that amazing video. Yeah. I think you can actually listen to that song on Spotify. I think we published it. This was going on at a time when a lot of people were attacking LPT. And no producers, no agents, nobody over there does any business. LPT's this, LPT's that. And then EXP had just announced their game-changing marketing box, which was a ripoff of our listing power tools. And so you saw the little bit of a dig in the video where Larry says all they could do was try to copy our box. There was a much longer version of that I'm actually going to show you here today that I made the decision to pull. At the time, agents were like fighting each other about LPT versus EXP versus Real and comments on Facebook. Like it was a very weird time in our industry where there were like knife fights going on regularly about which cloud brokerage was the best and which cloud brokerage had the best agents. And I'm very happy to see that has mostly died down. We don't really see that anymore. I think we've matured past it as an industry. I think the speed at which we came on the scene scared everyone, and it maybe had some other folks not react as professionally as they should have. So in the moment, I made the decision the night before Grand Prix to pull this video that I'm about to show you from the lineup, because at the time it would have been much too inflammatory. Now there's nothing, hateful about it. It's all in good fun, but it is making fun of the fact that they copied our box. And I'm gonna let you guys see that here today.
Oh wow, is that the famous magic white box?
What? Oh yeah, I guess it's been called that before. This is the collateral marketing system box. I'm selling my home and my LPT Realty agent dropped it off. It's 188 pieces of high quality printed marketing collateral meticulously curated to sell my home specifically, with postcards, door hangers, business cards, flyers, and more. It even has this neighborhood report highlighting schools, shops, and restaurants nearby.
Hey, there's the Leaning Tower of Pizza. Their garlic knots are to die for.
Yeah, they are. They are really good. Anyway, this power pack has everything I could possibly want in it to market my home. And like I've been saying for years, you need marketing, tough guy. Okay, now what the hell is that?
Oh, this is my marketing box. I heard about LPT's magic white box, and I figured I needed to make my own. You want to see?
Oh yeah, I gotta see this. What is all this? Old newspaper clippings and what looks like your old high school yearbook?
Oh yeah, fun memories. Go Cougars.
This makes no sense. So is that a half-eaten ham sandwich?
Oh, I was saving that for later. So, do you have any advice?
Yes. My advice is to never show this to anyone. Seriously, Wally, look at me. This is embarrassing. Do not show this to anyone.
Yeah. So while it is harmless and absolute comedic genius, at that time, 18 months ago, it would have created a firestorm. You know, it would have set off a chain of events and reactions that we were not right for the industry. And so I made the tough decision to rewrite the run of show again the night before the conference and pull that out, because I knew it wasn't the right thing for the industry at that time. It wasn't right for us and our agents. It wasn't right for them and their agents. And now 18 months later, it's easy to look back and laugh at it. And again, we don't see those same types of arguments. And it feels like we're all just getting along now, which is a fantastic place for the industry. But sometimes we have to make those types of tough choices, you know. And I want everybody to remember, like, we are very young. Like, we're 3.5 years old. We are the new kid on the block. We're punching way above our weight, being as big as we are, having over a $700 million revenue run rate, creeping up on the $1 billion mark. We are punching way above our weight. And the legacy competitors did not know how to deal with us. You know, we've talked about the dual comp plan breakthrough. You know, that came about when we were designing LPT. I was back and forth. Do we do a 100% plan? Because that was the way to serve the most agents, the most of those agents whose individual definition of success was 1 or 2. But we knew the split plan with a cap and rev share was the best way to serve a lot of the entrepreneurs who were building teams. And one day I called Matt Levy and said, I got it, man, I got it. Get over here. And he comes in and I show him, I said, we can do both. We can offer both. We're going to build this hybrid model where people can choose between the two. And that was one of the biggest breakthroughs in the creation of the company. But there was always a third comp plan. And I hinted at this earlier. Right? Aperture is that third comp plan. Aperture is that luxury brand with the uncapped model, you know, different marketing deliverables. And there was always the idea, because if we're going to serve the entire total addressable market, we needed something to compete with Compass. And while LPT does a fantastic job of competing with eXp and Real and Keller Williams, we are not viewed as an alternative for Compass agents. They want something different. They have a different definition of success. And so that was the plan for Aperture. But there was a problem with launching Aperture, and that was, as we looked at the landscape, these two big brokerages, you've got eXp and you've got Compass. I really didn't feel like Compass could do what we do. I mean, they just did by acquiring a bunch of legacy franchises, probably the only path they had. But I had no fear that Compass was going to launch an LPT competitor. I did, however, have a fear that in this idea of the two models, right, the idea that the largest brokerage by transaction count and the largest brokerage by volume would be owned by the same holding company, I did have a fear that eXp at the time would be able to launch a competitor to Aperture and a competitor to Compass if I gave them the idea, because of this man.
You know, all of us go through some steps where decisions are thrown at you. You start thinking about the last 20 years building something and being proud of that journey and what was built. And it got me to where I am today, seeing where the next step was in my trajectory. You know, the unknown is scary. Sort of the darkness. You don't know what you're stepping into. But when you're complacent, it's the start of death. And if you don't get past that complacency, you start to die a little bit every single day. There's something called impact, and impact is so strong. When you have that vision, when it becomes a global vision, when it actually starts thinking about who can I help? Can I help my neighbor? Can I help my community? Can I help the world? That's a big statement. Legacy is something that I'm so passionate about. And when I knew what LPT was, when I knew what the potential was to leave legacy, something that's so important to Robert as the founder of this. I've spent a lot of time with him now, saw who he is as a leader, as a visionary, as a family man, as someone who truly cares about people and what the impact that this company is going to leave on the world. That's really what I have bought into, what I am so excited for, and what the future is going to be as we write the next chapter of LPT. Sometimes you think you came to climb the mountain, then you realize you came to be the mountain.
There was only one executive in this industry that I thought could challenge what we are building, and he happened to work for the company who had already built the largest real estate brokerage by transaction count. He had a 15-year career history at Sotheby's, leading their global expansion on the franchising side as a senior executive at Anywhere Realty at the time. He was one of the SEC named executive officers at EXP at the time, and he was the most dynamic leader that I saw at any brokerage outside of LPT. Please welcome Michael Valdez to the stage.
Hello, hello, hello. My brother. Woo! Loving this. How's everybody doing? Awesome. Hey, before we even jump in, I actually want to, I've been sitting backstage and hearing the story, and I actually just want to comment on you as a visionary and as a leader, but also the vulnerability of the talking about the dream big. How many leaders do you know, forget about our industry, how many leaders do you know that would have been that vulnerable? So to you, round of applause, please. It's true, man.
Yeah, hey, look, I genuinely care about the success of everyone in this room. And that means I need to be vulnerable. I need to be transparent. I need to show you the path. I need to help you avoid the missteps that I've made, because that's how we win together. And when your success becomes more important than my success, it's very easy to get vulnerable. It's very easy to tell those stories and pull back the curtain. And I always try to do that with you guys, whether it's on Motivation Monday or on a stage like this. I think one of the ways I can show how much I genuinely care is that vulnerability. And it's why we're here together.
You know, it's the reason that I'm sitting in this chair, because the idea of leadership matters. It matters when you say, I care about agents, it's true. A lot of other companies, and some of you in this room have experienced it as well, where other leaders say, oh, we care about agents, and they really don't. And when I was sitting, I remember there was a speech that I heard Jarek Robbins do, Tony Robbins' son, and he talked about the two mountains. And the first mountain is supposed to be what you do for yourself and your family to reach your level of success. Your second mountain is supposed to be what you do for others to reach their level of success. And when you stand on that second mountain, it better be larger than what the first one is. And that's what you've built, and that's why you care, and that's what we aligned on when you were telling me your vision of the dream big. You know, look, a lot of you that were at my former company, I was very comfortable. I was a very well-paid executive. I was very comfortable, but I wasn't challenged. And as I said in that video, if you don't feel challenged, you're dying just a little bit every day. And unless you actually have impact that you can do for others, then why is it worth it, right? Unless you can actually impact others. And that's what you're doing. And the idea of the dream big of creating the largest real estate company in the world is not just to create it, but it's the impact of the hundreds of thousands of agents that will be impacted, the hundreds of thousands of lives, the hundreds of thousands of domino effect of what you can do for change in the world is what we're starting.
Absolutely, man. This Aperture launch, this was another dream big, right? This was another big leap. We've done it. We've built LPT, fastest growing ever. It's on a clear path, you know, top 10 in the US. Let's do it all over again, right? Like let's commit more capital. Let's create more complexity. Like it was a risk. It was a challenge. It was a big dream, and one that we are fully committed to. And as I mentioned, it was one that as long as Michael was at EXP, I wasn't comfortable releasing into the world, because he's the only executive I think that had the skill set to pull this off. And while he was at the large competitor who was already publicly traded, and so I kept Aperture close to my vest. And I met Michael at the Super Bowl, you know, a couple of years ago through Andy Florence, and we just hit it off. And I'll tell you, trying to explain to him what I wanted to build without being able to tell him what I wanted to build because he was still working for the competitor was this really interesting dance. But we got to know each other. We spent time together. We met up again in Miami. Then I flew him out to Montana, you know, and just through that process, we really got to know each other. And that gave me the confidence to dream big again, to make the decision to launch Aperture so that LPT Aperture Holdings, LPTA, could have that full life cycle. so that if an agent decides they want to move, in the old world, if an agent said, well, hey, I want to go from EXP to Compass, they have to leave. And they say, you know what, I'm ready to go from Compass maybe back to EXP, whatever that is. We see that happen. It's not a lot, but it does happen. Where now with our Brokerage for Life cycle, you never have to leave our family if that's where your individual definition of success takes you. And that was the goal.
That was so true, and it was funny because it was a funny dance, and I remember I was in Europe, and Robert and I were talking, and he said, so if I gave you this amount of money to build something, what would that look like? And so I said, I don't know, maybe it's something like start our own auction house or this or that, and so but it's more of the luxury concept of everything, and he says, huh. And so he says, why don't you come and visit me in Montana? Let's just sit down and figure this out. And we were there for about a week. And I remember the second time I came to your house, I had met his incredible family, and Reagan, his eldest, was sitting at the table with Jill, and they were playing on the iPad. And I walk up, and his home in Montana is vertical, so you walk up. Actually, the video is his house in Montana. So those stairs that you walk up. So we get to the 3rd level, and Reagan sees me, and she'd only seen me twice in that time. She drops the iPad and runs into my arms, and it melted my heart. And it showed me who he is and who Jill are as parents and individuals and leaders and people. And it melted my heart. And he's sitting on the other side of the kitchen island and says, she's never done that. And I'm born and raised in New York. I'm like, really? And so it's like, I'm like, she's the closer, right? And so I was just like, I got you. And it's sort of like, cue the cute little girl. And so it's like, but it was so genuine. And it showed me who he was and who Jill were as people, as individuals. And that's more important, because you can't put on a different persona. You're just one person. And that's what I was lacking in the leadership that I was in at that point in time. And it's something where we aligned so quickly. And then at that point, it was just like, all right, I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing. And I said, I love it. And it was funny. We had announced that video at Inman a year and a half ago at this point, and it was a very interesting morning.
Yeah. So then, fast forward 12 months, and Aperture wins most innovative use of video at Inman this year, and we're going to play that video. Yeah.
History is written by the firsts, the pioneers, the visionaries who dare to redefine an industry. For the first time in history, a single entity luxury real estate brand is launching globally. Not a franchise, not a collection of disconnected offices. One name, one standard, one vision across the world. Aperture is more than a brokerage. It is a movement, a community of discerning visionaries, tastemakers, and connoisseurs who see the world through a different lens. We do not follow tradition. We are setting the new standard. Our agents are not merely real estate professionals. They are artisans of experience, hand-selected for their expertise in the luxury space. We offer a network unlike any other, a global referral system designed to connect the elite to the elite, ensuring maximum exposure for the world's most coveted properties. Aperture is the first luxury brand to offer targeted television commercials, placing the world's most exceptional homes in front of the most exclusive buyers. Directly, personally, precisely. And for those who demand more than luxury, we introduce Unobtainium, a rewards program unlike any other, offering one-of-a-kind experiences that money alone cannot buy. This is more than buying and selling homes. This is Aperture, the first brand to bring global luxury real estate together under one name. With an elite presence in the most coveted cities around the world, Aperture is redefining what it means to live without limits. Your vision, your focus, your exposure, your aperture.
It never gets old.
So Aperture is the final piece of our commitment to your individual definition of success. Now, no matter where your career may take you, and there's no right or wrong answer to this, right? Some agents may say, you know what, my definition of success is I'm gonna always sell 1 or 2 houses a year because I flip properties or I do this or I'm spending time with my family, and we embrace that. Your individual definition of success may be building a big real estate team. Your individual definition of success may be global luxury. Whatever that looks like, there is now a home for you inside of the LPTA system, and that is our commitment to all of you and your individual definitions of success.
So true. You know what's really interesting is all of you are now ambassadors of such incredible firsts in our history, in our industry. The idea of being, as LPT agents, the members of the fastest growing real estate company in history, in our industry, in history.
And real quick, and a lot of people try to run some version of that. Like, it's very simple. We are 36 months old. You know, we hit 15,000 agents at 35, 36 months old. No one had ever done that before, right? And when we announce our next agent count next year, we're going to be doing it again. Like, no one has ever done it. You can't dispute it. Go look at the 3-year mark for any brokerage in history, and no one is even close to us. No one's been over 2,000 or 3,000 agents at the 36-month mark ever. So we are the undisputed fastest growing brokerage in history.
There it is. I mean, math doesn't lie, right? And now you think about on the Aperture side, we were the first company, think about this, the first single entity brand that ever launched internationally at inception, ever. So a fully focused, non-franchise brand that ever launched a standalone luxury brand internationally on day one. We opened in 19 US states and in 4 international destinations, which was London, Lisbon, Toronto, and St. Martin. And that's right. We have our UK leader in the audience who flew in, Daniel McPeak. And so this is what is exciting because we're living firsts. And now the next first is going to be the first company to ever have this hybrid model of 2 brands as a single entity, becoming the largest real estate company in our industry.
Big round of applause for Michael Valdez.
Thank you, man. Thanks, man. All right.
So that's our ongoing commitment to you. We will continue to push innovation inside of LPT so that you have the best marketing tools. We will continue to create the brands necessary so that no matter where your individual definition of success may take you, that you can do it as a part of this amazing family. And what does all of that ultimately mean? If I can get this slide up. What makes $1 billion brokerage valuation? Right, that's what we're having in discussions in all these meetings. If we can get my slide up, guys. Thank you. We are now larger than Compass, Real, and EXP were when they first reached the $1 billion market cap. You can see on this chart, we're at a $700 million revenue run rate. We've done that in just over 3 years. Compass hit a $2.2 billion valuation at less revenue at the 5-year mark. Real hit a $1 billion valuation at the 8-year mark with less revenue. EXP hit the $1 billion valuation mark at 8.5 years with less revenue. We are revolutionizing this industry. We have grown faster, and we are becoming more valuable than any of our competitors, and it's because all of you, and I am proud that all of you are shareholders in LPT Aperture Holdings with me. I appreciate you all coming out here. I appreciate your commitment to investing in yourself. I appreciate you giving me the time to take you down memory lane on everything amazing that we've built together. That wraps up our State of the Brokerage portion of today's session. We're going to get going a little bit before we break out of here on what's to come this afternoon. So we've got a couple of amazing speakers who are going to be setting you up for what's coming next. They have breakouts coming this afternoon. They're going to set up the content. Make sure you bring your workbooks with you this afternoon because we're going to be going through them as we get ready for that. And with that, I want to welcome Sam Kay to the stage to set us up for what's coming after our lunch break.
Hi, I'm Sam. How we doing today? Let me try that one more time. How we doing today? So look, I'm very humbled by the opportunity to be on stage with all of you today. With that, I'm going to ask for a couple of favors. Is that okay? As my company grew and got to the point where we're doing several $1 billion a year in revenue, agent count growing, Inc. 500, fastest growing company, number 26, and then 31, and then 33. I don't say this to impress you, but rather help you see that every company, every 3-letter company, every 4-letter company tried to do a deal with us. And I couldn't do it because I had never met a person that was committed to the agent's success. I never met a person that understood what the front looks like. Meaning, how do we be a real estate first company? But at the same time, the intelligence and intent of creating something that is long lasting. It's not smoke and mirrors. And I say this to you because when I had the privilege of meeting with Robert, what do you think I was thinking inside? I really can't wait to hate this man. But you know what happens? I met a man that, yes, is smart. I met a man that's, yes, successful. I met a man that's, yes, is kind. But you know what I really met? A man that cares beyond words could ever explain. I met a man that sees the industry as how it should be song. I met a man that had an unwavering commitment and belief to where he's going and what he's doing. So I asked you for permission to ask you for a couple of favors. The first favor I have of you is, can we all please get on our feet? And I want you to give Mr. Robert Palmer the loudest round of applause, so loud that they hear us at Disneyland.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Sam.
See, sometimes people might think that he's doing this for him. He is doing what he's doing because of you. He is so committed to his success. A man that didn't need to do this decided to do one of the hardest things in the space or in the industry. He is so committed to each and every one of you. But also, he has surrounded himself with the best of the best. What you see right now is a full room with a great AV setup, a phenomenal schedule, and great training. Can I tell you what I see? That was a question. What I see is months of preparation. I see blood, sweat, and tears that made this thing come to life. I see that we are all seeing a great event, but they are so committed to being the best that I'm sure in their mind, this is not even close to where we're headed. So I say that asking you for my second favor, which is we're also getting on our feet, and we are going to give everyone that made this come to life, I'm just going to mention a few names, but I know it's a lot more, from Matt Hodge to Lewis to Valdez to Tracy, to Shayna, to the entire team that made magic happen for us, because we would not be here experiencing this if not for them. Let them hear you. So I say that saying, I know what Robert's biggest asset is. Do you? Spit it out. What's his biggest asset? Us! This man has poured everything into and onto us because he knows that we are real estate first. He knows that if he helps us win, then by proxy, he wins. We have to remember that our people, our database, our sphere of influence, are our biggest asset in real estate. I don't care what guru tells you. I don't care what seminars tell you. The only thing we can count on is leadership and our database. We are Robert's database. We are LPT's database. But each and every one of you, your definition of success, whatever that is, comes to life when you pour into your database, when you actually make them feel heard and understood. So what I'm going to share with you today at my breakout at 3 p.m., I believe room A, is what I promise you will be the database training that you never knew existed. What I promise you in this session is there's a drunk monkey inside of you that says certain words that keeps you from doing what you're supposed to do with the people that know who you are. My question for you is, would you rather work with leads from the internet that to them you are nothing more than an unfortunate part of the process, or would you rather work with the people that actually want to talk to you? The challenge is we get in our head about, I don't want to seem hungry. I don't want to seem thirsty. I don't want to feel like I'm begging my friends for business. Anybody in here felt that before? Yeah. What that has created for you is you, on accident, have painted a picture in their mind that is not serving you. What I'm going to share with you, one of my ready-ups, is how we are going to completely reframe that picture without you seeming desperate, hungry, anything that's keeping you from doing the most important task as the baseline of your business, so that each and every one of us gets real with the fact that I don't care if you're doing 10 deals a year, or you're like my good friend Martha doing 40, but making like $1 billion doing so, is that we are all leaving Ferraris on the table every year because we have decided to play God and assume what they're thinking, assume what they're feeling. It is your responsibility to get them to work with you, because if not, they work with that bozo that has created the challenge we face in this industry, which is the used car salesman with a license. During my presentation, I promise you, I've shared this with single producers and mega producers, teams and brokerages. This presentation is going to be the one that puts zeros in your bank account. This is going to be the one that makes sure that people remember to remember you. And that's the name of the game. Remember to remember me. What I'm not going to ask you to do is call them and ask for their referrals all the time. What I'm not going to do is ask you to be creepy, salesy, annoying, all that stuff that's in your head. I'm not going to ask you to do that. Has Robert asked you to recruit? But it is your damn fiduciary responsibility to the man and the team and the company. And he has painted a picture that allows you to believe that and see that without having to say it. What you're going to see in this presentation, I don't care where you're at, how many deals you're doing or not, my promise is that you are leaving Ferraris on the table every year. And we are going to unlock that with a very simple script, very simple strategies, and on the back side of this, when I see you at the next event, I know that you're going to come up to me and say, dude, that changed the game for me. How many of us in here want to do more deals? Well, you're at the right company, you're at the right event, and the session today at 3 is going to be exactly what you need to take your business from where it is to where you want it to be. Is that okay with y'all? I have one final thought. This clock keeps moving up, so am I running out of time? This is my final thought. You are the 1% of the 1%. By deciding to be here today, you have indicated with your actions that you are not like the other agents. You have indicated with your actions that you are committed to being stronger than the noise, both inside and outside. You have indicated with your actions that you're grateful, but you're not satisfied. So I promise to you that this is going to be a session that will make an impact on your business. And one more time before I leave, I want to thank this man right here, Robert. Thank you. Thank you for making me feel at home in a house that I didn't build. I love you, I appreciate you, and I can't wait.
Thank you, brother. I love you, man. Thank you for being a part of this. Sam K, everybody. I remember the first Zoom I had with Sam. You know, Big Block was the number 32 brokerage.
Independent
brokerage in the U.S. Yeah. Now the number 3 mega team in the United States, number 1 in California. Huge round of applause. I love you, man. Thank you so much.
Love you, brother.
All right, next up, we have another amazing speaker, David Kurz. Come on out here. He's got some words of wisdom to share with you as well.
What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Hey, RP, before you go anywhere, I want to say something. Hey, guys, I have to respectfully disagree with RP on something he said earlier.
Okay, let's go.
Don't get uptight, guys. Relax. Let me cook, okay? He said, if we launched in 2016, who knows how much further we would be? And I think my problem with that statement is that God put Robert exactly where he needed to be in 2022, right? I believe that he was in the mindset he was supposed to be in 2022. And I believe that had he done it in 2016, maybe we wouldn't have a Tracy. Maybe we wouldn't have a Matt or Matt Levy or Louis Furman. Maybe other things would have happened. But God put him in the right place, in the right mindset with the right team. And now we're all here because of it. So give him a round of applause, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Crush it, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how you doing today? Oh, man, this is awesome. Listen, I'm feeling very blessed to be on the stage with you guys today. I have 6 minutes, and I want to give you 4 power-ups. And usually I know people come up here and they give you 1, but these all tie together. Are you guys okay with that? All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody, how many times have you heard from up here that people told you, or from the breakout sessions, people told you, relationships are the key to getting more business, right? You've heard it a lot, but you haven't heard, how do I get into these relationships, right? Like, how do I create these relationships? What happens, or how do I put myself in a position to create these amazing relationships? And so I wanted to give you 4 things that you could do right now during this expo when everybody's networking. I want you to try to put these 4 things into effect so you can create better relationships while you're here today. Is that okay with you guys? Fantastic. All right, the very first one. Hold on. The very first one is perfect your introduction. How many of you guys have a perfect 15-second intro? There's a few. Lights are in my eyes, but all my VIPs had their hands down. I just want to point that out. Listen, you have to have the perfect elevator pitch because you never know when you're going to meet somebody who can create massive business in your life. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes? You have to have a perfect who you are. Hi, my name's David Kurz. I run a team down in South Florida, but you know what? I can help you with real estate anywhere in the country because I have an amazing team behind me. Does that make sense? Who knows what that person's gonna say? They might look at me and say, damn, Dave, that's great. I'm actually selling my house in Miami to move to Colorado. Anybody here from Colorado? Yeah, so I might have some referrals for you. Do you understand that? Understand your perfect pitch, which immediately goes into number 2. Perfect your handshake. With your hand, I want you to practice something moving forward. 3 people a day. Just 3 people a day. Shake their hand and introduce yourself at the grocery store, at the gas station, at the supermarket, whatever you go and you do. I had a tip from a top producing agent in the Miami Shores area here in South Florida, and she said that she goes food shopping for dinner every single day. She doesn't buy for the week. Every single day she goes to Publix and she goes food shopping. And she makes it a point to meet somebody every single day. She just says something really quick and starts a conversation, introduces herself. They introduce themselves. She passes them a business card and they connect. I've gone away with business cards. If you've asked me for a business card here while you've been here, what have we done? We've texted each other. I'm done with business cards. I'm done giving you my business card so you can go put it on a desk somewhere and forget about it. No, sir, no, ma'am. We are texting each other because I am going to call you. I'm not going to leave the destiny up to you. I'm going to create my destiny. You guys with that? The very next thing I'm going to tell you is when you do those handshakes, do something that comes from a very special book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. How many of you have read this book? Amazing. Everyone should read the book at least once a year and brush up on it. But the one thing that they definitely said was compliment, genuine compliment people when you meet them. And by the way, extend that to every time you see them. Hey, Deb, how you doing? Nice shoes, I like them, they sparkle. What an amazing opportunity to make somebody feel great about themselves. You guys with me? Okay? And then finally, last one is make yourself visible. Make yourself visible. What do I mean by that? Ladies and gentlemen, wear your brand. Make sure everyone knows who you are. I see some of you with LPT Realty shirts. I see Dave Kadoon out of Canada with his DK on. Wear your brand. If you've seen me for the last couple days, I have a hat. And it has my name on it. And if I don't have the hat on, don't worry, folks. I literally tattooed my brand on my forearm. It's my last name. It's never going out of style. You guys with me? Wear your brand. So here's the layup, right? Make it a point, first, know what you're going to say. Then make it a point to shake 3 hands a day. When you shake those hands, give them a perfect compliment, make it genuine, and make sure they know who you are. Be visible to everybody. Later on today at 3 o'clock, I got a breakout session where we're going to talk about how to jump off of the social media trap and do things in real life that you can take back to social media so you become omnipresent. Would that be great? Yes, everybody should know who you are. You get what I'm saying? God bless you guys, man. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Awesome job, brother. Thank you, David. All right. Next up, we have one of the brightest minds in AI. We're talking a lot about AI. She's going to give us a quick rundown of some AI topics that she's going to be discussing in her breakout at 3 o'clock today. Please welcome the amazing Blair Knowles to the stage.
Hello.
Thank you, Blair. Great seeing you. Thanks for joining us.
Really nice to be here. Thanks for having me. So I am meeting many of you in the last 24 hours.